Moments after today's highly charged House vote, President Trump called it the greatest witch hunt in American history. Let's bring in now White House reaction. Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham is with me today. Stephanie, good to have you on the program for the first time.
Thank you for having me.
So the ball has moved forward. I'm curious, in the White House, do you see this necessarily as progress in the impeachment probe, or is this still not quite due process for the President of the United States?
It was never due process for the President of the United States. And I've got to say, Nancy Pelosi has lost all control over there. That is clear. Phase one of this impeachment sham was all behind closed doors. Now they're moving to phase two, which is supposed to be public. I'm wondering, from the first phase, are we going to be able to see any of the transcripts or know what was said? Is any of the first phase going to come to light? Or are we just starting phase two? And we don't know the rules yet for the White House. Are we going to get to even be involved? I don't think so. It's my understanding that we're not going to get to defend ourselves until it goes to the Judiciary Committee, and that's not how it works in America. In a court of law, you're innocent until proven guilty. Here, we're clearly guilty and have to prove our innocence, which won't be a problem because we already released a transcript showing the President did absolutely nothing wrong. I want to add one other thing. I keep seeing all these Dems on the floor talking about how this is for the good of the country. The President just authorized the kill of the founder and leader of ISIS. That's what's good for the country. This president's good for the country, and we're going to keep working, and they can continue to do their sham.
Stephanie, what about messaging at this point? I mean, the president has talked about moving from the process of things not being unfair, and especially now that this resolution has passed and Republicans, at least in some way, will get to subpoena, call witnesses. We'll have to see how open that process actually ends up being in the end. But now you move on to the substance against the president, the substance of the allegations. How does your messaging change?
Honestly, I don't think the messaging changes. We released that transcript weeks ago. Anybody who wants to look at the transcript will see that there was nothing done that was wrong. The Ukrainian government has said there was no pressure there. Aid money was released. The message is simple. It's what we've been saying. The president had concerns about releasing foreign aid, as he does with many countries, until there's no corruption and to make sure that burden sharing with other countries happens. Ultimately, the aid was released. It had nothing to do with quid pro quo. The president did nothing wrong. That's always been our message.
Speaking on this topic, I want to say this. Amid questions about the president's strategy, the Trump campaign has unveiled a new ad during last night's World Series. Let's watch, and then I'll get you to talk more about it.
Sure.
All right, I'm being told that they are queuing that up, Stephanie, and talking. We're ready. Okay. Look, only took seconds. Thanks.
The Democrats would rather focus on impeachment and phony investigations, ignoring the real issues. But that's not stopping Donald Trump. He's no Mr. Nice Guy, but sometimes it takes a Donald Trump to change Washington.
Of course, you've got the bully pulpit. How does this fold in?
Well, first, I want to say, speaking of that, congratulations to the Nats on that big win last night. That's fantastic. I think that the ad was exactly right. Look, for 2 weeks now that Congress has been in session, the Dems have been stomping their feet and plugging their ears and crying and screaming the word impeachment like in children. And for the last 2 weeks, the president has been working. He's been speaking with foreign leaders. He traveled to another state and got a bipartisan award on all of his work with criminal justice reform. He did an event where he honored law enforcement officers. He, as I said, authorized and killed the founder and leader of ISIS. This president will continue to work. He is a tough president, but he's getting results for the American people. And, you know, there's polls out today that show people are frustrated and disappointed with all of the impeachment farce that's happening. We know that in the White House. We're going to keep working. We've done nothing wrong. The president's done nothing wrong. And that's the end of the statement there.
Will the president talk about this topic at upcoming rallies?
I'm sure he will. I don't know what he'll say. I won't get ahead of him, but I'm sure he will. He has it at every rally. You know, again, I think that if any American were treated like this, you get treated better and get more due process when you get a traffic ticket. So he is rightfully frustrated, and he is rightfully defending himself. So I'm sure he'll be speaking about it in upcoming events.
You know, another thing right now, we're learning that the White House tried to block National Security Council official Tim Morrison from testifying today, but he complied with the last-minute subpoena. Meanwhile, Democrats also want to speak with former National Security Advisor John Bolton as they're part of the impeachment inquiry. His attorney says that he won't voluntarily appear. He would need a subpoena to do that. What is your strategy and what is your reaction to learning about these people potentially testifying?
To be honest with you, now that we're in phase 2 of the impeachment inquiry, I don't think I want to get into strategy of what the legal strategy will be going forward until we learn kind of what the ground rules are. The Dems have been really good at continuously moving the goalposts on that, so I don't want to get into any of our strategy just yet.
Stephanie, Democrats are taking some criticism today, and we talked about it last hour on Outnumbered, about being able to focus on other things. In fact, Republicans were saying you've taken the, and in fact it was Liz Cheney who said this, you've taken the Intel Committee and taken it off of some duties and put it in charge of impeachment. What concerns do you have about other things getting done? USMCA, healthcare, we're about to enter a whole new enrollment period in November, and it starts tomorrow.
We have a lot of concerns, and it's my understanding that Congress is headed home again today. So that's kind of been our point all along. The American people are suffering. There is USMCA to get done. There's legislation with gun violence that we were working on. There is so much to get done on behalf of this country that's just being blatantly ignored by the Dems. So we are concerned. We're going to keep doing everything that we can. We're going to keep holding policy meetings and doing the best that we can to get work done. But honestly, the Dems need to stop with the temper tantrums and get to work.
Stephanie Grisham on the program as the White House press secretary today. An important day to get your take and reaction. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.